Healing yoga for traumatic stress. Sitting in any comfortable position on the edge of a blanket and sitting tall, ears, shoulders and hips aligned. Eyes softly closed, mouth relaxed, shoulders and hips relaxed, gently bringing your attention to your own breathing. Breathing in and breathing out, with chest and belly relaxed. Feeling each breath, moment by moment, breath by breath. Slowly opening your eyes up and preparing for a twisting movement of your torso as you breathe out with left hand to outside of right knee, right arm back for support, twisting away to the right. Breathing in, coming through the center. Breathing out and twisting away to the left. Back and forth at your own pace. No need to stop through the middle. Just a fluid flow. Taking a moment to sit up tall on the inhale and going into the twist on each side as you breathe out, just as much as you're comfortable. Last pair. Relax and release. Bringing both hands back behind your hips, pressing off against the mat and floor. Breathing in and a gentle backward bend, pelvis tilting forward, chest open, shoulders back, head back. Breathing out with arms sweeping forward around the sides, coming into forward fold just as far as you're comfortable. Going back and forth to the rhythm of your own mindful breathing. One more pair. Breathing in, a supported backward bend, and breathing out, a forward fold. Coming back up and preparing for a side bend with your torso. As you breathe out, with right arm sliding out to the right, left arm rising as your torso bends to the right, neck relaxed. Breathing in, coming back through the center, and breathing out and switching sides, back and forth. Like a seaweed, moving with the waves, a fluid movement, purely to the side. Last pair. And coming back through the center, palms to chest in salutation, acknowledging all the goodness within. Rhythmic thoracic breathing next. As you breathe in, arms forward and out and back, wide open chest, a nice deep inhale. And as you breathe out, arms crossing over and ending in a big, tight wraparound tuck. Breathing in, 2, 3, and back, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, back and forth. At your own pace, breathing out twice as slowly as breathing in. Rhythmic thoracic breathing. One more round at your own pace. Relax and release. With arms on either side, extending both legs out in front of you. Arms back, supporting your torso. A gentle movement of the ankles as you engage your quads and stretch your hamstrings. The right toes pointing away, right toes pointing away, left toes in towards your face deeply, and then switching sides, just back and forth. Plantar and dorsiflexion at your ankles, a strengthener for the quads and this knee extension, stretch for your hamstrings, the big muscles of your lower limbs that control the movement at your knees and regulate movement at the hips as well. And now, both toes moving together, the same direction, away as far as possible, pointing out like ballerinas, and then coming back in with heels out, toes in towards your face, just a few times. Relax and release, and with the mat out of the way, let's come down on your mat, that blanket out of the way, let's come down on your mat, on your back with knees flexed. Arms on either side of your torso, palms facing down. Perhaps scooting forward a bit, making yourself a bit more comfortable. And now as you breathe out, with belly in towards your spine, lifting both feet off the mat, knees in towards your chest as far as comfortable. Breathing in, gently coming back down with feet to mat. Back and forth just a few times. Fluid movement with core engagement, gently helping to strengthen your abdominal core. Coming back down with your feet. And now, on the next inhale, lifting your knees in towards your chest, arms either wrapped around the back of your knees or around your knees, giving yourself a big, tight, wrap-around hug. We can never get enough of these, so indulge, breathe deeply. Relax and release. Feet to mat, opening up your feet to about a hip width apart. Heels in towards your hips so your calves are more or less vertical, knees about ankles. Arms on either side with palms facing down. As you breathe in, keeping your hips to the mat, lifting your belly up towards the ceiling in a big, deep belly breath, and breathing out, actively pulling your belly in towards your spine, flattening out your lower back. Breathing in, belly up and out, pelvis tilts forward, away from belly button, enhancing the arch of your lower back. Breathing out with belly in towards spine, pelvis tilting in towards belly button and flattening out your lower back. Back and forth. A pelvic tilt that's palpably giving you a sense of the curve of your lower back. And from that sense comes the control of it that affects all of our posture. And now on the next inhale, even as your belly comes up, pelvis tilts forward, lifting your hips up off the mat, engaging your arms and legs against the floor, tightening your buttocks, breathing out, slowly coming back down with your hips to mat, pulling your belly in towards your spine, letting your pelvis tilt in towards your belly button, buttocks relaxed, back and forth, bridge movement at your own pace. Relax and release. As your hips come down to the mat, knees and heels close together, and arms extending out on either side in line with your shoulders. Palms facing up, neck relaxed. As you breathe out, knees heading down towards the right side, just as far as you're comfortable, as your head turns to look left. Breathing in, coming slowly back through the center, and breathing out and switching sides. Knees to left and head to right. Back and forth. Transitioning through the center with head and knees as you breathe in. And then into the spinal twist, a supported form as you breathe out. Last pair. And now turning onto your left side, pushing off with your right arm, and slowly come up on all fours. Opening up your knees to a hip width apart, knees directly underneath your hips, your thighs are vertical and parallel. Your hands walking in towards your knees until your shoulders are directly above your wrists. Arms vertical and parallel as well. And now as you breathe out, lifting your middle back up towards the ceiling as you tuck your head and tailbone in deeply. Breathing in, gently reversing this curve. Belly button dropping down, bottoms up and back, chest open, shoulders back, head back, back and forth. In a fluid, wave-like movement of your entire spine. As if reaching the very ends of it on the inhale and the exhale. Regulated, leveraged, full spinal flexion and extension. Moving to the rhythm of your mindful breathing. Relax and release, coming to rest in child as your hips head back towards your heels, forehead heading down towards the floor. Arms either in extension or else heading back parallel to your calves with palms facing up. You may find that you need a little bit of a buffer for your hips if your knees or ankles aren't quite comfortable in this form. So feel free to use a blanket or a block or a bolster back of your knees, and perhaps a bit of support underneath your forehead. And breathe, the chest and belly relaxed. Slowly coming back up as you're breathing in. And let us prepare for a wall-supported inversion. Turning the mat so it's 90 degrees to the wall. As you breathe in, coming down towards the mat with your torso and lifting your feet up, and let's come down to the mat. Good. Hips just as close to the wall as you're comfortable. Feet a little bit apart so your inner thighs are relaxed. Arms on either side of your torso with palms facing up. And breathe with chest and belly relaxed. Literally throwing your feet up. A relaxing pose that is also so beneficial for our circulatory systems, our nervous systems, our endocrine system, our immune system. A few minutes in a wall-supported inversion. Fresh arterial blood coming into the brain without having to fight gravity. And the venous blood that often tends to accumulate in our lower limbs, heading back towards the heart, aided by gravity. Breathe with chest and belly relaxed. Flexing your knees, slowly turning to your left side, and let's slowly come back up sitting. And let's settle back up. Coming down onto the mat and bringing your arms back behind your head. As you breathe in, full engagement, tippy toes pointing away, arms in extension, big stretch, end to end, fingertips to toes. Breathing out, relax and release as you sink into the floor. Again, breathing in, big stretch, end to end engagement, every bit of you engaged. Breathing out, relax and release. One last time. Breathing in, coming fully into the present, and breathing out as if gently letting go of past and future. And now slowly flexing to your left and coming back up sitting. Let us create a little roll with the blanket. Coming to rest on the mat with a little rolled blanket along your spine, as if gently helping to open up your chest in a hint of a supported backward bend. Another rolled blanket or a little bolster, pillow or cushion to give a little support. The bend at the knees, taking some of the pressure off of your lower back. Bringing one hand to chest and the other to belly. Breathing naturally with chest and belly relaxed. Feeling the movement of your chest, your belly, your hands with each breath, moment by moment. Breathing in, both hands heading up. Breathing out, both hands descending towards your spine. Natural, spontaneous, free, and effortless. Keeping your attention on your own breath. Transitioning to rhythmic breathing. Breathing in to a count of 4. And breathing out twice as slowly to a count of 8 at your own pace. Feeling each breath and watching it moment by moment. Adding rhythm to the breathing, 4 in and 8 out, and adding one more layer to the breathing as well. As you breathe into 4, actively pushing your hands up and out, especially your belly hand with a deep belly breath, and as you breathe out twice as slowly to 8, actively pulling your belly in towards your spine, taking your belly hand down with you. Deep, rhythmic, belly breathing at your own pace. This ratio, breathing out twice as slowly as breathing in, mimics our breathing in deep states of relaxation. Gently nudging our nervous systems from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic, from fight or flight, hypervigilance, to a more centered, grounded, self-aware place. And even as we watch our own breath, perhaps watching our thoughts, the movements of our mind, breath by breath and moment by moment, you find that your mind has indeed become a little more calm, a little more still, a little less frenetically active. And as your mind becomes a bit more still, it is better able to reflect your own true nature. Strong, fearless, pure, loving and compassionate, peaceful, full of the peace that passeth understanding. Connecting to that is the essence of the practice. Relax and breathe normally, arms on either side with palms facing up. And let's take a moment to practice the second aspect of meditation, the open monitoring of what comes onto the surface of our mind as one. And now, focused attention, listening intently to the sound of the chime until you can't hear it any longer. One more time, coming fully into the present with every bit of your being. So tell us a bit more now about, some of the major life happenings that have happened in your young life that have led to things that are well beyond mere chronic stress. You've also had to deal with a lot of trauma and the stress that comes from trauma. You want to tell us a bit about that?
I've experienced everything from sexual abuse and trauma to grief to loss to physical violence, depression, severe depression.
Yes.
And I've actually overcome, for the most part, all of it naturally.
Yes. So how did those sources of trauma and abuse and depression affect your body and your mind?
It depleted my body almost entirely.
Yes.
At one point I almost lost my life because of the amount of trauma I had experienced.
Yes.
And the way my body held it and
Yes.
didn't have a way of releasing it.
Yes.
Both from the mind space but also just my organs almost
Yes.
shutting down entirely.
Yes. Trauma researchers, trauma experts around the world often talk about trauma essentially booby-trapping our bodies. So you lose control of your body, which is supposed to be our friend, to get triggered and re-traumatized as if totally out of our control. So you experienced all of that firsthand.
Yes.
And then what helped you pull through? What gave you the fortitude? What gave you the tools, the skills to come out of that, to build that resilience that you now exhibit?
I was able to pull from my childhood of yoga and meditation, and a dear friend of mine came to my rescue and sat with me a couple times a week, just doing different pranayama, meditation, and eventually when I could move my body, yoga.